It's time to delve into the world of Ace Attorney. And to find Aristotle's means for how he killed Constance Court. So let's do this thing. When I actually... Why is it selected on... Why is it stuck on the forest? That's weird. Find the game. Down the bottom here, right. Alrighty then. Oh, pardon me. There's just a whole bunch of things going on right now, alright. Let's do it. I have to get into the voices again too. A lecture in court. Yeah, that was it. Let's do it. Right, we had the part where we were just coming in and he was on the witness stand. Will you please state your name and occupation for the record? Yeah. Certainly, I am Aristotle Means. I teach the lawyer course at Themis Legal Academy, and let me add that while I welcome any opportunity to assist with the trial, I don't care for this undue suspicion. Don't worry, Professor. We're just interested in the mock trial video right now. We just need to take another look at the speech you gave. Can we count on your cooperation in this? Very well. If that's all you're interested in, please proceed, Miss Sykes. We need to find some sort of evidence that shows this speech was pre-recorded. Alright, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video. Okay. Oh, we're showing the video, are we? Alright. Okay, I'll get there. Good afternoon. I would like to start by thanking you for coming here today. The mock trial, the crown jewel event of the Creative School Festival, will begin shortly. When I was a student, I too could hardly wait for this day to come. Oh no, I'd forgotten how long and boring his speech was. Wake me up once this is over. Hey, no fair. The experiences of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adult. Ah, you there, wake up, pay attention. Huh? Eek! I'm awake, isn't that right, Your Honor? What? I'm awake too, wide awake, see? Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. Aha! That's the one that was broken. This one is golden or bronzy. Pay attention, you may make a difference one day. Now, let the mock trial begin. That is about it. One of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I even saw some of our students with tears in their eyes. He's obviously not familiar with the phrase of bored to tears. Eyes watering and everything now, great. You didn't get enough sleep last night. That's my own damn fault sometimes. Anyway. Listen, Sykes Dunno, if you have subjected me to this epic studying tedium without purpose. Taco will feast on your tongue after I've cut it out. Eek! But you were asleep the whole time! What, Miss Sykes? Did you notice anything strange about that speech? Could I please hear that last part again? Once again, our pure white Lady Justice will be watching over all of you today.
Hold it!
There! I finally found what we needed. Prof means, I have only one question about your speech. Why does that last part we just heard contradict with this? The professor said the pure white Lady Justice will be watching over them. But the Lady Justice in the video isn't even close to being white. It's as good as gold, it's as gold as gold can be. Yeah, okay, gold, not brass. I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around it to test its authenticity. I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now, it's true that this statue is pure white, but it broke before the mock trial began. The one you see here is its replacement. Oh, well, that's a shame on every count. Ironically, this golden statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one, meaning the professor wouldn't have made a mistake in its colour if he'd been present. That's how we'll get him, boys. It seems that I have caused some confusion, but it was merely an oversight on my part.
Objection!
The statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like? I mean, it could have been reading off a script. I'm giving him answers here, and it's not where it's going to go probably, but he could have read off a script that he already wrote. Well, I was in the balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white. I'm afraid this isn't sufficient evidence for the speech being pre-recorded. We had our answer long ago. The accused was the only one to leave the lecture hall. No, wait! There's got to be something that can prove the speech was pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here and ended here. It was a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. It was a little over 10 minutes. It was only a little over 10 minutes? It felt like it went on forever. How'd you figure out how long it was? The time's there. Easy. There's a timestamp in the top right. Yeah. All you have to do is subtract the time the speech started from the time it ended. The speech goes from the 10-minute mark to 35. Wait a second. I could swear I've seen this interval of time listed among the evidence. Oh. Where was it? I'm having a moment because it's been a good week since I was playing this. It's not how long I was there. Ah! The tape has about 10 minutes 35 seconds of noise requiring further testing. Aha! Maybe there's a way for me to use the speech time to show that it was pre-recorded.
Take that!
I would like the court to take a look at this. Under shoes. The voice print analysis approves the voice on the tape recorder belongs to our client. Yes, but didn't we just establish that the voice on the tape recorder was a fabrication? We did, but what I'd like to focus on is the noise that is also there. Noise. Yes. The defense believes it resulted when the tape's previous recording was erased. And what do you hope to prove by that? The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read at the moment Prof Means began his speech? That would be exactly 10. Now let's fast forward to this long-winded exercise in boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video timestamp now reads 20:35. Based on this, we know the time it took for the speech alone. Right, subtract 10 minutes and you get 10:35. 10 minutes and 35 seconds? Right, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. The same as the noise on the tape recording. I assume you all understand what this means. Prof Means his pre-recorded speech had been where the noise is now.
Silence.
Silence. Yeah, that's pretty. He's got a very cool voice if that was fully voiced. Anyway, you seem rather confident in considering this as a mere happenstance match of numbers.
Objection!
But is it really just numbers? And the lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far as they found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. The police are analysing the noise as we speak. It won't be long until we know what was originally there. You got angry on... No, I'm sure of it. The professor was trying to create an alibi with the recording by pinning the crime on Junie. Well, he's not gonna get away with it. Not on my watch. Miss Sykes. I believe you are well aware of my methodology. Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose, I offered to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened. All I've stated are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony. Truth be told, I had no intention of testifying. I'd been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake. But now that you cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth. This doesn't sound good. I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Prof Means, always say what I mean and mean what I say, by all means. Uh-huh. By all means and any means necessary. The defendant came to me with what she said was very important and by necessity, secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do. Oh my, so you're saying the defendant threatened you? This has to be a lie. I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true. On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper has truly taken to heart my teaching that states the end justifies the means. I don't believe you. When she asked me to defend her, she said that I must also prove her two friends innocent. Her two friends? Mrs.? Correct. Hugh O'Connor and Robin Newman. I was to ensure all three walked free. All three were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper was seeking. And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end. You no doubt had high praise for her ruthless tactics. Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her despite her threatening me. Yeah, it's distracted Discord messages. Right. Making sure people know I'm streaming. Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her despite her threatening me. There was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in court. But, alas, those days are over. Now, in the defense of justice, order and all that is good, the end justifies the means. Which... he's only thinking of, victory in court type thing. I'm so sick of hearing that phrase. Though it truly grieves me so, I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality. That does it. He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. Since he's already surrendered to the dark age of the law, it's up to me to fight it. Why so silent, Sykes Dunno? Something the matter? This is a court of law. This is no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm gonna let the evidence do the talking. Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to rectify this situation. Now that is a freaking threat if I ever saw one. No, go ahead and rectify it. Only if I lose and you win, that is. Alright, Prof Means' testimony. Press everything to start with. Because I don't think we particularly have evidence to line up with that yet. May have been to do with the bribery though. I doubt your client would have come to you with something like that. You have a point there. If only Prof Court had been alive, I suspect Juniper would have gone to her instead. So, our client came to talk to you after Prof Court was dead? Let's go through this step by step, shall we? First, Juniper came to me that day. Hold it! Are you suggesting it was that client who told you to fake an alibi? You have every reason to be surprised. I too was shocked when she told me that. Simply put, Juniper has a secret that you wish to protect that badly. Is he kidding me? That lie couldn't be further from the truth. The problem is, how am I going to expose it? It was an earnest request from an outstanding student. How could I possibly have refused? Did you consider that a threat? Technically, this is a correct statement, but he's surrounding it with the other statements that are incorrect. She confessed to the murder the day before and then asked him to defend her the morning after. Yes, but now it's you whom she has passed her demands on to. Miss Sykes, you must realize that you, too, are being used by Juniper. What? Your Honour, I ask that you, too, do not let her feigned weakness and innocence fool you. Juniper Woods is quite clever and extremely tough. And perhaps most important of all, she is a fervent follower of my teachings.
Objection!
Your Honour, the witness's testimony is nothing but an attack on our client's character. Very well, objection sustained. So be it. Nevertheless, the fact that she's threatened me is immutable. Alright. How could you overlook such a threat? As a teacher, it's your duty to discipline students. Yes, well, perhaps I do have some serious reflection to do on this matter. I suppose it was just wishful thinking on my part. I wanted to believe that Juniper hadn't actually committed murder and that she hadn't meant to threaten me. Really? Please do explain. Long had I waited for a student who would embody my teachings. Does the witness realize what he is saying? Surely you must see the true meaning in my words. I am merely staying true to what I teach, and my methods are but a reflection of the times. Oh wow, his way of thinking is really warped, but I haven't heard any inconsistencies yet. Yeah, that's how good he is. I wouldn't be so sure. Really? The more he tries to avoid logical inconsistencies in his testimony, the more likely we'll see inconsistencies between his actions and words. It is a dark age in which we live, and there is much I would like to say on the matter. The humane thing to do. You were trying to protect our client? You were trying to protect our client? Yeah, right. He'll say anything to pin the blame on Jeannie. What a frightful look. I would ask you not to glare at me so. I've nothing but admiration for how Juniper was willing to go as far as to threaten me. That is why I'm protecting her by any means possible. She has been a model student. Lie, you're trying to pin the blame on her. How am I going to show that what he's saying isn't what he's really thinking? You cannot possibly overturn my claim, so isn't it about time you admitted defeat? After all, if my understandable logic is not truth, then what is? If you think I'm going to give in to his pack of lies, he's got another thing coming. I'm going to find a hole in his story if it's the last thing I do. Even though he's rotten to the core, he's a total pro. I mean, that all made perfect sense. Yeah, but you can't believe a word he says. He's making this up as he goes along. He'll trip up on his own words yet. Time to see how consistently the professor's testimony matches up with his actual actions. Okay. I should save, so I don't have to go through all that again. So we do need to prevent something here. Let's study these. His actions with stopping the adjusted script going through, quite possibly. And we've sort of used that, we've got that, that's something else. Hey. She said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. Where was the ding here? So it should be this statement, right? Because this one doesn't really seem to make sense that he'd become an alibi, he'd become an accomplice. Is it because he knew the script?
Objection!
No need to explain anything, Athena. Okay, that wasn't it. I'm wondering if I present it here.
Objection!
No, that's not it either. This is gonna be a hard nut to crack. Maybe it's the pictures, because he was there at the time when the stage was being built at the time of the murder, so this is a possible alibi he had around 6.
Objection!
Gosh, okay, that's the same sort of one, okay. Not that, I'm trying to logic this through now. My brain's waking up, I've had coffee. I'm getting there. So there's nothing that really contradicts that. I have a feeling it is one of these two statements. Consider this one more likely. Lose accomplice after losing your alibi to the pre-recording. Let's look at everything again. The audio control room doesn't make sense. He'd have to, if he was in his faculty seat, he'd have to go behind the screen to get there. People may have seen him.
Objection!
I knew that was a long shot. I'm just trying everything that I kind of think of. Let's go through things. 2 PM mock trial begins. What is happening? I have a feeling it's something to do with how we moved behind the screen. Came to you when, did you say anything? Oops, I pressed Q instead of E. I'm trying to think. The secret that she was talking about, would that have been the bribery? The stuff that she heard from Hugh O'Connor? So I was thinking of the planner saying when they're meeting for final confirmation of the script, may be something there.
Objection!
Okay. He's a tough cookie. So if we look through everything again, we've got the setup, which makes more sense if he was on the Prof Court's side of the faculty seat. So we've got him at 6. We haven't used the burnt fragments yet of the governor's banner. Got the picture of them. Time of death between 6 and 8. Stained with blood. Did they do a blood analysis of the arrow? They should have, just in case. I'm not sure what to be presenting here. Just present the attorney's badge? Yeah, that wouldn't work. Damn. He's really stumping me on this one. So, let's look at everything again. I feel like it's that usually they have that audio cue on the statement when you press it for the response, and that's the one to do. So it's the last or the second to last one? A fervent follower of my teachings. So, actually, the mock trial script maybe is reflective that she isn't. So it's a long shot. And I don't really know. Okay.
Hold it!
Overlook such a threat. Unlikely of seeing consistencies between actions and words. So I need to present something to do with his actions. Which I can only think of the pictures. Which show him in it. That are provable for his actions. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, we know he gave it to Hugh to pass on. So that's proving in his actions that he didn't want to protect Juniper. Okay.
Objection!
Yes, okay. So let me get this straight. You were trying to help Miss Woods? That's nothing more than a bald-faced lie. No offense, Your Honor. Such defamation of my character and your hair follicles, Your Honor. It is an outrage. Miss Strikes will clarify her statement and leave my hair follicles out for this time. Yes, of course, Your Honor. Now, please take a look at this. The witness gave this tape to Mr. O'Connor. Then he slyly whispered, "Take this to the police and tell them you found it." There was no whispering, slyly or otherwise involved. I simply did that out of kindness.
Objection!
The tape contained our client's voice. In short, it is incredibly damaging evidence. Why would it even exist if the witness wasn't trying to pin the murder on our client? Yeah, let's go, Athena. I do like her theme song. It is neat. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but not yours. You never had good intentions, only lies to protect yourself with while blaming another. You, Professor, are the embodiment of the dark age of the law. Why, you little... You dare call my teachings and methods lies? Oh, he's getting mad. Whoa! He's gone full Mohawk. Thomas Legal Academy is a proud institution. It's the most powerful in the world. Oh, he's got a crack above his eye as well. You'll never forget what true education and learning means once I'm through with you. Huh? Prof Means? What's with your hair? Quiet! No talking in class! Damn, got the chalk and everything. Homeroom, October 26th. Eyes and ears up here, everyone. Homeroom is now in session. We will begin with roll call. Athena Sykes. Huh? Here? Apollo Justice. I'm fine. I mean here. Fool! The proper response is here without any extraneous information. I mean here. Next, Your Honor. Here. See, class, that's a proper way to answer. Simon Blackquill. I said Simon Blackquill. Are you here or not? There's always one, isn't there? Well, then I'll just mark you absent. Now, get out of my class this instant. Get out. Oh, very well, if that is your wish. Who am I to defy my homeroom teacher? Is that such a good idea? Prosecutor Blackquill is free of his shackles. Ha ha ha! It just so happens I was a member of my high school's disciplinary committee. But is it really? Is that really so shocking? Constabulary lapdog to teacher's pet. What a malleable mutt you are, fool bright. Well, very good, Bobby. You just earned a gold star and a promotion to head disciplinarian. Damn, look at his face. He's gone full evil mode. Alright, class is now in session. Why do I have the sudden urge to go to the nurse's office with a stomachache? Pay attention, I'm not the killer. Juniper is. Really, he's just gonna say that? This will be on the next test, so you had better be listening.
Objection!
But Professor, you created the phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the only one who could have moved the body during the mock trial. Athena, you disappoint me so, to think you would label me a murderer. Now, pay attention, the murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m. But I was already at home by that time, so how could I have been involved in this crime?
Objection!
I've got the photos with the time on them. Prof means, can you really prove you had already gone home by that time? Can you prove that I was still at school? Yes, you can, Athena, you buffoon. No, I can't. So you admit it. Well, you just earned extra credit for your honesty. But you have also earned yourself a lavatory cleaning duties until you graduate. Ew, I do enough of that at the office. No way, man! I totally object! Robin? I can't believe I fell for the professor's silver-tongued lies! Why, how dare you talk about your teacher like that? I'm not listening to you anymore, man! No way, no how! Now I have a confession to make! You know those two statues that were on stage? I didn't make them all by myself! The statues on stage? Do I want to know where this is headed? Yeah, we've got the pictures time-stamped! He's right there! I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rang before I had time for the other one. So I asked Prof Mean to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on the stage after the last bell? Right, and it would have been way past 7 before he could have finished. Prof means we're still at school. This is... Well, this is incredibly important testimony. The professor told me I'll take care of it. I thought my parents would let me be an artist if I said I'd make both statues myself. I'm so sorry for not telling the truth. Robin. Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight. Simon, your head honcho among the delinquents, do something. Yeah! And who's in charge of the class pet around here? I love it. This is so good. This is hilarious. Although, it does sort of lend itself to the absurd a fair bit of how much they would let him go. Not interested. But if you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course, only real blades will do. No swords at school, all weapons will be confiscated. Yeah! Nurse! Where's the school nurse when you need one? It would seem Sykes Dono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case you will do well to draw your staff, quick as lightning. Very well, then I will just have to prove my innocence myself. I said no pets allowed. The real lessons begin in second period. Prepare to be served old school style. What does that? Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please. Prof means is a work of art. Now pay attention. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant Juniper saw the two statues pardon me. With her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing the statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I have possibly had the time to go to the art room and commit murder? You're saying the defendant saw the finished statues? Come to think of it, the Phoenix Wright statue didn't have big pieces of it. It only had the small pieces, so he couldn't reconstruct it. Precisely. She said so herself at the detention centre yesterday. Her defence team was there and heard her say so too. Don't try to deny it now. One evening I went back to my dressing room to get something I'd forgotten there. Oh, it was well after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. That's when I noticed that both stage statues were finished. They were quite large and they were each covered with a white sheet, but I could tell. Yeah, whichever voice I had for exactly. Kind of defaulted to the Athena voice anyway. Oh, right. The professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robert. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It would probably take me at least twice as long. So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish in that short of time. That didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means. Press everything.
Hold it!
Miss Newman took over half a day. Can you please be a little more precise than that? What a wonderful question. She was having quite a tough time, you see. Prosecutor Gavin's statue alone took her from morning hours into the evening. Well, it is a rather large statue after all. Don't be silly. It merely exposes the difference between student and teacher. But he's not part of the arts club.
Hold it!
Most of the other statue? What exactly does that mean? Robin created the basic outline of Mr. Wright's statue before the last bell rang. I, in turn, completed the rest of it. I see. In academics as well as art, learning the basics is incredibly important. In short, you skipped the most important part of statue making, didn't you? Why, you insolent little... It is the practical applications built upon the basics that take so much time. But the ends justify the means. If you took a shortcut to get the statue finished, that lines up with your philosophy. Professors such as I mastered the basics a long, long time ago. Unlike Miss Fancy Pansy, who lacks all loyalty fundamentals. Oh, quiet you. Now do you understand? I did not leave that stage until I was done. Well, besides, you accept the witness's claim. Is this another tricksy one? Where I should accept it? We can't disprove that. That's the thing. We can prove he was there, but there's nothing to prove that he left the stage, so I guess we'll have to accept it. I've tried everything, but I still can't prove anything. I guess I concede. I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time. I concede the prof means never left the stage. That's right. But what took you so long? I was there at the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime. I'm not gonna give up here. I'm afraid I've decided with the witness, Miss Sykes. And unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Objection!
Always objection. Not yet. The defense still has an objection. Athena, you've thought of something? Well, as I said, not yet. So it's time for legal smoke and mirrors? Not yet, Athena. It's not yet time to quit. It's at times like these when it seems like there's no way out that you have to... Yeah, I have to turn the case upside down. Okay, here we go again. Instead of focusing on where the prof means could have gone to the art room, I should focus on how we could commit the murder without going there. It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. But I'll use any means necessary, even casting stones, if it'll distract her. Who brought the bird to school? Sykes, don't know. If I hear one word of your unusual jibber-jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, and the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between the two key facts? If I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time, the only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it! I realised one of us made a huge mistake. We were totally wrong about the... I was thinking about the time of the crime, but I guess the autopsy report can't be. So I'm thinking, what were we wrong about? So if we go suspect, that would mean that not blaming Aristotle means, which is probably not what we want to do here. Murder weapon. Her blood was found on the oil. I don't feel like the murder weapon would be right to say it was wrong. But what about the crime scene? I'll try the crime scene first. If Prospero was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer. Ridiculous, the defense has become utterly incoherent. No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was. Continue, Sykes, Donald. Okay, the murder was actually committed here. The stage. The greatest riddle of this case has been how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means the body was never moved at all. Silly girl, when the body was found, there wasn't a drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed. There wasn't any blood on the stage, really? But there was something on stage at the time of this now bloodstained. The banner.
Take that!
Is this where we're heading? It's true, there were no bloodstains on the stage floor. But there was something on the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be this school banner. No blood would have gotten on the floor if this were under the victim when she was killed. Oh my, that's quite a compelling theory.
Silence!
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's just gonna be the governor's flag instead of the school flag, because the governor's flag, and then while he was cleaning up, he wrapped her up in the school banner, and the statue was taken down to wreck the other statues to make it look like it was done in the art room. Layers upon layers. That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy says the cause of death was loss of blood. Yet only a trace amount was found upon that banner. Where did the rest go? Blood getting on there when the body was moved by wire makes more sense than not. Very good, Simon. Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate in recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection!
Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well. You do? If there was only a trace amount of blood on the school banner, then there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what. This is what sucked up most of the victim's blood. Oh, because they were on top of each other. That's why a bit of blood went on the school banner, but most of it was on the governor's banner. Why, it looks like there's some other piece of fabric on top of the school banner. It's the governor's banner that had been specially made for the school concert. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. It could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth, and only a small amount would have soaked through to the school banner below. So it makes total sense for the school banner to only have a little blood on it. So that banner absorbed the blood like a dishcloth. Yes, that would explain it. The governor's banner was like a dishcloth. Surely it was at least towel quality. Simon, don't just stand there. Do something.
Silence!
What a pathetic fool. Sykes, Dono, you're learning to wield a blade quite well. But how will you respond when it comes slashing at you like this? The remnant of a large blood stain was detected in the art room. But why would there be blood if there Yeah, if the murder occurred on the stage as you claim.
Objection!
The blood stain in the art room was faked. How? I'll tell you how. All that was needed was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence we've just finished discussing. The killer used this to bring the victim's blood up to the art room. The school banner. Right, because it was tied up. They needed to be... It was tied up for a reason and not untied.
Take that!
The killer could have used this to transport the victim's blood. You don't say. Try to explain that would be possible. Your Honor, nothing is impossible. Okay. That's not the right answer. All you need is... I got hyped. Far-fetched arguments like that have no place in the court. Well, it was worth a try. No, it wasn't. I guess it really wasn't. Okay. I need to give it more thought than just, oh, it must have been via that. If we took the governor's flag up there,
Take that!
put that on the table and then burnt it, do you think you'd stoop so low as to present mere garbage to this court? It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it in the incinerator. That someone was most likely the killer seeking to get rid of crucial evidence. The killer used the wire to bring the blood-soaked governor's banner up to the art room. Then, the blood was wiped onto the floor to complete the ruse. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, I was right with the banners, it was just the wrong one. I was thinking that the governor's banner would drip. But maybe that's overthinking it a little teensy bit much. Order, order. This is quite a development. The thing the body was never actually moved. Hold it right there. The body must have been moved. How else do you explain that loud crash you heard during the mock trial? If it wasn't caused by the body crashing into the statues, then what was it? I know what it was. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. And if that loud crash wasn't the body hitting the statues, then what was it indeed? The knot in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wiring. So if that's true, I know what I have to find. Something that was in the art room before the murder and then on the stage after. Yeah, I know. The object that was sent down the wire and crashing into the statues was...
Take that!
That statue? Yes, I believe it was this statue that broke the other two, not Prof. Court's body. The unique statue you see on the right, that's the pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Prof. Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial. But she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it, as you see here. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Silence!
Perhaps you are onto something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scrap heap relic in such a tedious manner? Excellent question, Simon. Keep them coming. You know why. But the fact that you don't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Prof. Means was fabricating an alibi with his pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, then Lady Justice was moved in order to point us to the body. That's the only reasonable explanation. Prof. Means used his pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. I wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and creating his and cementing his alibi. That's quite a persuasive argument. For a while there, I thought you weren't taking the trial seriously. Well done. And Athena's got on a roll and just kept going. You You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Prof always means what he says and says what he means by all means. Fine then, say it already. I'm waiting. The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until late the next day. Countless students passed the stage until they met in the lecture hall for the mock trial. So answer me this, why didn't anyone see the body that entire time? Good question. That can be explained by that's an inconsistency between the script and that is because she had the wrists were tied up and she had the bruising on the wrist. If the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And of course, there was no way to hide a body upon that stage. This is not good, Athena. Our claim is this close to being beaten to a pulp. Our claim, Apollo, you're hardly doing anything right now. I know, but we've come so far. Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't have possibly killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been and it always will be. Just wait a minute. Poor Juniper. She must seriously regret having asked you to defend her. And to add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted for murder. The end, I suppose, it means is an amazing bit of legal wisdom. Just putting it up there. Surely you haven't forgotten that little fiasco. Athena Sykes' attorney's badge is just for show. Damn, he's getting there with the personal insults now. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against her friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer. That was perfect timing. Hello, J-Land. We're back in Lawyerland again. But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as a mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain? Well, I'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen then, won't I? Evil statue monarch, yep, exactly. Don't tell me I've failed once again. Failed to save someone near and dear to me. No! No! There's going through all this dramatic stuff and the evidence is there. I've worked so hard to become a lawyer and even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again? Whoa, what is that? Oh yeah, this thing where she has a flashback to her being blood splattered. And that's all we see. Well, she's got PTSD now, which is blanked out. She's totally zoned out. She's got PTSD strikes real hard. Athena, well, what's wrong? Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, relax, Athena, breathe. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done, is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. I couldn't protect you like I said I would. She's, you leave Athena alone, man! She's the one who saved me! Tomboy waifu coming in with the save. It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between you, Juniper, and I. I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against you. And that's not all. I've done some seriously unforgivable things. Oh there, Athena. Is there something you're not telling us that is off screen? What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important. But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I've come so far is... It's not over yet, Athena. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie, I know you better than most people, Athena. And I know you'd never surrender to the dark age of the law like the Professor did. Thank you, Junie, but I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence.
Stop your bleating this instant. You look an utter fool. That's the other way to deal with it. Just get good. Just stop having PTSD. You just stop it. Prosecutor Blackwell? There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked on for thus far? It will not do to have you disappoint you know who. Well, we're gonna defend Voldemort in court next. Yeah, you're wasting your time. You have nothing for me. No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt. You are helpless before the might of lawyers for whom the ends justifies the means.
Objection!
Don't worry, Athena, you're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him. But Apollo, what am I supposed to do now? Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case. If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now, let me see you smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Well, they're really driving home this one line in this game. Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Why is this a line? She was angry and then it turned to neutral. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat. Okay. Here we go. Rothcourt wasn't killed in the outer room, she was killed right where her body was found. We know because there wasn't any time to move the body there from somewhere else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on stage until it was found. Let's think along these lines and see where it takes us. First up, when it possibly means remove the body from its hiding place. Well, let's see, what was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using the span of time his fake alibi created to move the body to where it would be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time proper means could have removed the body from his hiding places during the mock trial. It was during the mock trial, specifically during the speech, yeah. Prof means move the body to an easily seen location during his long, pre-recorded speech. Prof's also moved something to the stage that wasn't there before, specifically the white statue. Man, this feels like she's just going to a mind palace and organising all the thoughts. During the mock trial, Prof means wrapped the White Lady Justice in the school banner and sent her zipping down to the stage with a crash, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like the murder occurred in the art room. Well, was there anywhere to hide the body on that stage? It doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be someplace. Wait a second. How about something that should have been finished but was only mostly done? That is why we never found big pieces of the Phoenix Wright statue, is because he never finished it. He put the body there instead. Something was used to cover the body up. But it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. And that way no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. I was already on the stage and capable of concealing the body, the Wright statue. Oh, the body was hidden by Wright statue. Oh, I know, the Mr. Wright statue was never actually finished. The body was wrapped under some cloth to hide what was really inside, cleverly disguising it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the Wright statue, yet Prof means finished it in a single night. Yes, what an impressive feat that was.
Objection!
No, his so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work, the murder of Prof Cord. Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow. He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Wright. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looked just like a statue. What? I second that, what? Now, this is getting interesting. No, this is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible?
Objection!
We'll never know until we try. Uh-oh, I think I know where this is going. Okay, Apollo, time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Wright. I'm going to pose like the statue, like so. Damn, we're using the middle of the courtroom? This is unprecedented in Ace Attorney history. We're using the middle of the courtroom in the 3D plane. And now I want you to wrap me up in cloth so that I look like a statue. I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magical cloth? I'm afraid that isn't the right colour, Mr. Justice. Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I could do, Your Honour. Alright, I think that about does it. Well, what do you think, everyone? Do I do just like a statue of Mr. Wright, or what? What the heck? Looks like some random person to me. One of the statues a pair of busts. Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair on the back of his head. Forget the hair. The statue's head is way bigger than your average person's anyway. Gonna hand it to me for trying anyway. Wait, that's it. The hands. Her arms are raised over her head, and there are dark bruises around her wrists. Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something. Marks on her wrist indicated she'd been tied up. Apollo, tie me up in a new pose. Wait, you're not into this kind of thing, are you? Of course he is. What? No, besides it was your idea. Just tell me how to tie your hands already. Prof Court's wrists were tied together, and I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied? In an objection pose, surely? Because you wouldn't be able to get the hands going out to look like the objection pose without it. Try both of my hands in an objection pose. You sure? What about the spike hair on the back of the head? Oh, I know, the bus is right there. Go pour some out and you can glue it on. Okay, I'm on it.
Objection!
Ouch, ouch! What do you think you're doing, Apollo? That was worth it. So sorry, Athena, I couldn't do it. Just don't be such a wimp. Oh, how unfortunate, and I was so looking forward to seeing where that was headed. That was worth doing though. That was funny. It's all Apollo's fault. Guess I better think of something else. Okay, behind your head. Apollo, tie both of my hands behind my head. See, this makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head. Sure, but then what about the statue's arm? With both arms behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make an objection pose like this. I can't help thinking you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now. What did the victim's body have that I don't? The arrow?
Take that!
Oh right, there was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Polly, take that and plunge it into my side. Oh, God. Athena's crazy, man. What are you, crazy? Fine, then go get some duct tape. Rapido, schnell. Alright, I don't need to know other languages to know bossy when I hear it. A fatal arrow to the side. The spiky hair created from 2 hands. Yeah, Apollo's totally into this. A masterpiece in the making. Now, cover me with that cloth. But remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Mummy, the arm's too short. Shh, remember your indoor voice, dear. Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough. But what else could you use for the arm? Still won't give up, eh? I must commend you, if only for your spirit and determination. Of course she's not giving up. After all she's put me through, she owes me an explanation, and one that makes sense. Now, disappoint me again and the penalty will be doubly painful. Yikes! I guess I better get it right this time. Think, Athena, think. Prof Cott was murdered when she stopped. Well, let's see Prof means. If it wasn't premeditated, he must have used something close at hand in his little ruse. Apollo, show me the stage setup photos again. Like that? Right now? Okay, hold on. Harlem Globetrotter. I have heard the name, but I'm blanking on what exactly it is again. But I'm also tired, so that is the thing. Oh, no wonder I've heard the name, but don't really know what it is. It's stuff to do with sports. Exhibition basketball team. Please be in this photo. It just has to be his staff. Oh, Mr. Rosachi was really right here.
Take that!
Got it, I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Right. This is absurd, there's no such thing in this photo. Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there. Everyone fails except me. It's a staff. This is the spear of a great legal warrior. This is a sphere. Oh, that's a different voice I gave him then. Staff? This is the spear of a great legal warrior. Yeah, I noticed there was a basketball thing. Oh, it made me think of it. The whole spinning on the finger thing and all that. Yeah, that's a very basketball thing. Or netball, who knows? I don't know if their tricks sort of cross over. Whatever, just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect. Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo. Sure, I'll give your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up.
Objection!
Ding dong!
Yes, we need the lock-on sound alert because he isn't here right now. It's Phoenix Wright! Look, it's that famous lawyer! Do they really think that little of him anyway? That's definitely him! I'd know that pose anywhere! Wow, Phoenix is actually really famous for some reason. And yeah, he's not the only one to do that pose, like every single defense attorney has done that pose that we've met so far. Even Edgeworth has done the objection pose in his own sort of way. Oh, we did it, didn't we? Well, am I not the spitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring us out of these dark ages and into an era of brilliant golden light? Golden light, all I see before me is the pink spectre of a man. Yeah, Okay, here's a little bit of a disconnect for me. I know Phoenix Wright was doing awesomely in the base games and that, but it's been like 7 years since he was an attorney. How is he so famous? And assuming that there are other attorneys around still and all that, like Christoph Gavin. And there would be others to keep up with the demand. He's the Messiah. That's just because Mr. Wright likes his statue. He's positively tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink. Oh, blah, that joke deserves a pink slip. Okay, the pink slip is also a sporting thing, isn't it? Although it is also to do with Transport New South Wales. It's a safety inspection report that verifies you're roadworthy for registration. That's what I was like, I've heard it somewhere for something else. Well. Oh, they used to fire you? Well, I was thinking if I needed to get my car roadworthy, so that's called the pink slip here for whatever reason too. But that's probably that one. I don't know, all the search results I looked up came out with, yeah, the context tells it. But also, I'm surprised, it's Google, only turned up the results for here, which is the pink slip for the registration for the roadworthy for the vehicle. Go figure. I was like, context is good, but I'm like, you get your yellow card and your red card or whatever in sports, so I didn't know if pink slip was in there too, because I don't know sports that well. It seems the gallery is quite impressed with the defense's sharp thinking. Dismiss someone from employment. Yeah, North American noun. Oh, when I put definition at the end, it is. But I might as well show you. Just for a minute. When I just search pink slip, it comes up with get the pink slip for Service New South Wales. And rego checks and all that for Sydney. So, yeah. That shouldn't be coming up with my location that accurately. I've got a VPN on and it still knows my location that accurately. That's scary. Google is arse, yeah. I had to put definition on the end and then I got the definitions for it. That's why I was like, I know it's something else, but that's all the results I got. Somewhere else in Sydney, I think. It doesn't have a specific spot other than... Anyway. NordVPN isn't very good because it doesn't give you a specific spot. It just goes, oh, VPN to this city, and you randomly, anyway. Kind of super bubble, yeah. I mean, I guess so. Clickbait, it seems... It works, I mean, it does what I want it to. My main use for it, but still, it's like, I get what people say when they say it's not actually a security thing. I'm the witness. Bah, the resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence.
Objection!
Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than mere coincidence. To prove that his spear was thrust into the victim, all I have to do is... I think... See if it's a staff or spear. It seems really interesting. Let's try that one. The spear might actually be a staff. Bah, you know nothing, little girl. Little girl? What's that supposed to mean? Spears are far more dashing than staves. While this is all very interesting, it has little if anything to do with the issue at hand. I thought something funny might happen. Okay, test the spear for prints. Let's examine the spear for prints. That'll settle this whole mess. And just what do you have to prove? He prints. Oh yeah, it'll just be his prints on it, won't it? Because they're trying to say Court's hands were behind her head, not one was strapped to the spear and holding it, sort of thing. Test the spear for blood. I had assumed the victim's jagged wound came from the arrow being forcibly shoved in. But if the wound was from the spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it. Your Honor, a brief recess, if you will. By any means possible, what if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? He's sus. And we've got him. What's wrong with a non-guilty verdict? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you. This is my point here. What's wrong with a non-guilty verdict? Pass a non-guilty verdict down, and then Juniper Woods will be non-guilty. We will have succeeded in their case. Thank you, Prof. Means.
Objection!
Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now, I asked you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate. Retake bar exam. 30% salary cut. Dismissal. It's breaking. He's doing the G a bit like the governor symbol. His teeth! Prosecutor Blackwell, what has become of our witness? Aristotle means. Also, Athena just effectively used the jury system by consulting the gallery. There wasn't the jury, but where did the juror system go between Apollo Justice and this game? It is as Sykes-Dunn suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to his heinous crime. This heinous crime. All of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there. Oh boy, clink time with Blackwell. Great, he'll teach felons that the ends justify the means. So much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what the professor's motive was? I could barely make out a word he said on account of his shattered teeth. To the Sydney Slammer? No, we have nice prisons here. He needs a bad prison. He needs one that's not just free board and lodging and free meals, and he gets a nice cozy room. We need one that's actually a bad prison for him. One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. One of a former dentist too. Well, when you're comparing prisons, there are some people that when the prison is nicer than in other countries will recommit to get the free board and lodging and not be rehabilitated and keep in the cycle. Yeah. I eventually had him put pen to paper. Turns out Prof. Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from the class snitch. That led her to question him at length the day of the killing, right there on that stage. The result, the heinous crime that was brought before this court. The fool, like Newman, had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own awl in order to make the killing look like the one in the script and thus frame the defendant. Yeah, I saw that coming. As in, he recreated it to divert the attention and make it look like the script. Mars colony? Yeah, but we'll ruin Mars then. But the scrap of paper with Hughes' name, the same mark as Prof. Court's planner. Yeah, I'm not trusting Bohr's failure at all. Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating at the top of their class. Really? So then... Indeed, once upon a time, Prof. Means was also awarded the same notebook. And they kept it for how many years before using it? The handwriting is being analysed now, but like as not, the scrap belonged to him. This, too, was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. Knowing that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle means took the bribe. Know that Constance Court was English. Know that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle means took the bribes. To think a professor would murder a colleague, then try to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. And the first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. This court finds the defendant Juniper Woods. There we go, not guilty. Blackwell is sort of this odd thing. I don't know how to think of him as a prosecutor as much. Like, he's pretty good at playing things and presenting his case and stuff, but he just caves in as soon as the truth's revealed. Like, he doesn't really fight back against the truth, which isn't quite as fun, unlike Edgeworth and things, when they're prosecutors. Maybe that's the thing I feel with Clavier as well. It's like, eventually it's just like, okay, the coming together to find the truth part with Edgeworth was so good because it was the final case. Yes, and Hugh O'Connor, they all go to jail for perjury. I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you. If we ever hope to restore the law to its former glory. And then they didn't even continue studying. Like, Juniper isn't even a judge. In the first case, where it's later on in the timeline, it looks like she's just reverted back to whatever she's doing with the sunflowers. Yes, Your Honor, I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day, I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference. I think they're trying to demonstrate it with pretty much everyone's corrupt. So, with the whole very blatant ends justify the means thing, the dark age of the law being where they present forged evidence and everything and get away with it, and everyone's doing everything they can just to win rather than finding the truth, is supposedly this dark age of the law. Well, he teaches the lawyer course, and has been teaching people just to... Yeah, they sort of tell, but don't really show so far. Other than the connection of Phoenix was given the forged evidence by Christoph Gavin earlier on, and that maybe sort of led to part of it, but still... Yeah. The court found it when it was forged and all that. Proudly serve of course memory. Do not let her death be in vain. I think it's also trying to refer back to, like, the first case when the courtroom was blown up, but I'm not sure exactly how it connects at the moment. That's the last thing I expected to hear from him today. Court is adjourned. So this Dark Age of the Law thing seems to be just lawyers that will do anything to get a victory. Yeah, good thing the judge is immortal. He's going to be able to see through all the shenaniganry in the Dark Age of the Law. Okay. Thank you, Thena. I really mean it. It was nothing, really. I can take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that. I don't know, you look pretty wound up there at the end, literally and figuratively. You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo. Ha ha ha, don't mention it. The way you were always there for Athena when she was in a bind, and at the detention center, where your smile gave me hope where there was none. It was like the warm rays of the sun shining down on the peaceful woodlands. Damn, she's a fast knitter. I think you're an absolutely amazing person. Oh yeah, that's right. Juniper likes Apollo. And no one's hiding that right now. Her blush is going over the side of her cheek and that's ticking me off. I'm gonna get some more water though, because I've run out. Yeah. Thanks, Juniper, that means a lot to me. But I still have lots of work to do and I can't wait until we see you on the judge's bench. Ha 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 ha, I promise you I'll get there someday. Well, what happened to that? Huh? What's happened to that? Because we don't see you in the first case, which is in the future, we see you accused again. And not in law school. That's why until that day, I'll... Guys, I got some big news. I mean, this is huge. Oh, am I interrupting something? Okay, Tracy. No, it's okay. I think so. What's the big news? The school festival. It was supposed to have been cancelled after what happened, but... We just got a call. In memory of Prof. Constance Court, who worked so hard to make it happen. The festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow. Really? Alright. Alright. Oh, we're getting anime cutscene time again. Nice. Yeah, they totally reused Lemura's outfit.
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis.
Oh, that's how he sounds?
Achtung, baby. It's time for the guitar serenade.
And they're singing Lemura's song. Yeah, that's totally a reference back to Apollo Justice. That's how Clavier sounds? Not at all how I expected. But okay. Yes, this isn't high school though, this is university, right? Because they go from high school then into law school. Theoretically. It's all high school, I mean. Yeah. Wow, that was so much fun. School festivals are amazing. Tee, I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. You know what? I'm gonna look up Themis Legal Academy and see what the wiki says it is. It's a high school. Dang, the freaking nugget. It is a high school. I must have gotten that detail. Oh, apparently as well, this is set in 2027. This case. So only a couple of years until we get a Themis Legal Academy. The Dark Age of the Law is coming. The law. But where the heck is the teacher for the prosecutor course? Yeah, from the uniforms. All the Japanese type stuff. But apparently this is meant to be in California, so it's Japanifornia. Yeah, so we see, well, this whole case is about Constance Court getting killed. And then, so she's the judge professor, and then he's the lawyer or defense attorney teacher. What about the prosecution course? Like, come on. Ah! Your sing voice, Juniper! It could melt my H-E-A-R-T! Okay, tomboy waifu. Mr. Wright, thank you for that training seminar. Haha, just remember, the objection pose is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win. Although Robin had you for a while there. I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be, thanks to Athena. Okay, so they redid the mock trial and got a result. And you know what? I think I'll stick with becoming a prosecutor after all. Okay, I thought you wanted to be an artist. I'm going to make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court. Yeah, he'll just be an ejection machine. Mock trial loss? What loss? Wait, did they reprise the trial and you won? Level-headed lawyer course genius and hot-blooded prosecutor course student will go head-to-head in a mock trial battle for the she-devil's black heart. So, does this mean it's really gonna happen? Juniper, there's something I've been wanting to say to you. Huh? Ooh, is he gonna do what I think he is? Yeah, of course, Tracy. High school romance. You can't have high school in not Japan or whatever they're trying to sell the setting as without drama. Juniper, can we still be friends? You know, best friends like you've always been. Wait, no, you're chickening out, you fool. What about the love? Huh? Best friends? Hugh, weren't you going to profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial? No, I was going to confess. And that I'm not a genius and I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Whoops. But what a loser. Can't he just profess his love too? Listen, you too, Robin, Miriam. Ha! Crime cleaner. War. Me too. Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to a science. They had to fit in one more Metal Gear Solid reference. I've been thinking, it's up to us to put an end to the dark age of the law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results from the truth. Okay, how old are all these again? 18, 25, 18. So what, they've got 3 more years to go. They did a funny. Yeah, they do a funny in these games. And the end never justifies the means. Count me in. I wouldn't have it any other way. We're best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship. You bet, and what about your BFF, Apollo? Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? But yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have. Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in the office. Rectangle mouth, yeah. Hey, no talking about me behind my back. So, what kind of a guy is he anyway? Well, if I had to describe him in one word... And so after since... Oh, wait, no! Unfortunately, that promise was never meant to be fulfilled. I didn't realize it was going to go automatic. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well. Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in her ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold and distant. Yeah, the friend's dead. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind? Nice. And that was Turnabout Academy, the high school section. You can't have an anime game without some high school in there. I know, I feel like so far... I don't know. So I never have mixed feelings about things. So I've got to see how I feel. Oh, we're back in the destroyed courtroom. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. We're getting flashbacks to the first case. Ted Tenay was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow I can't help but think. That there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. Okay. So, this will be the second to last case, I imagine, for this game. We're going back to the Space Center.
1 hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Oh, stabbed. This is nice. We don't see who the killer is from the start. Like, some of them it's nice to have the murder mystery and try and figure it out yourself. Some of them it's like, okay, it's a different vibe when they reveal the killer just from the start. Alright, this is the 16th of December from the 26th of October where the last case was. Nearly 9:15 and 12 minutes past in defendant lobby number 5. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different. Sorry to bother you, but... Oh, it's her. Sorry to bother you, but... Are you alright, Apollo? Yeah. Like, she goes from high school... I'm in the judge course and everything. Like, it'll say her age now, won't it? She's still 18? That tracks. That must be the victim. His friend, right? Yeah, close friend. Oh, well, I've spoiled myself by looking at the court record first. Anyway. She must have been here outside of school hours. I don't know. They're not addressing what actually happened in the school. Like, for all we know, all the professors are dead or in jail. So the school just shuts down. Anyway. Are you alright, Apollo? Was I making a scary face for it just now? Also, yeah, we should be able to go back to say... Yeah, and so after some slight arm twisting, Apollo promised to bring me to meet his friend. Yeah, but that was never going to happen. It took him 2 months to get around to introducing Athena to his friend. Come on. Oh, hi Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my cords of steel exercises. Now I'm all ready to go. Yes, knowing you, I'm sure you will be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden. Yeah, she seems to be all into her gardening and you have no hint of her in the judge course. Maybe the school was shut down and then it's this in between time before she starts up legal school somewhere else. Is this a lotus root? That's right. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's cool. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now. Oh my! Kinda tough though. He can't eat it raw, but thank you for the enthusiastic try. She's still knitting. Oops, if she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I've got to calm down. No, don't you see the tell, Apollo? She's all shy now. Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late. Hi, Athena. Jeannie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it. You sly little thing, you. Yeah, they're definitely trying to play on the suggested romance a lot more. Athena, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? No, Apollo. When will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Well, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is a client, one Mr. Solomon Sol Starbuck. Is that a Battlestar Galactica reference? And Sol will be a reference to how the sun is referenced. We'll see. We've only watched a bit of Battlestar Galactica. Actually, I could tell you exactly what episode we were up to before we've not watched it for ages. Season 1, episode 11. We were watching it together and then that fell apart because sometimes at the time it's just like, well, we want to play together when we manage. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. Well, that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Ah, you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, but... Well, turned into a real yawn then. I was supposed to be in space right about now. Oh. He's so depressed it almost seems like it seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell. Clay Terran. I can't believe he was murdered. Oh, you know what this is a reference to? This is a reference to Philip K. Dick. Because Terra is how Philip K. Dick in a bunch of his short stories refers to as the name for Earth. And the Terran people, when there's a difference between the Terrans and the Martians. Because in a lot of his sci-fi stuff, he's had Mars colonized, they're doing stuff, and then when he's referring to Earth, he refers to it as Terra in a lot of what he's writing. So we've got Clay Earth. We got our sci-fi references right here. Can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah, he was a good guy, always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." Hey, Apollo's doing that thing too in this game. He's doing the "I'm fine" bit. How can something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Wow. The yawning is contagious. Damn. It's just more yawning. Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. Oh, well, what was it? What's with the yelling? I'll get to the bottom of this today, you'll see. There's more again. Oh, well, what is it? What's with the yelling? Yeah. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? I've got Jack. Literally, all I have is the autopsy report. What kind of background work was Apollo doing? None. Discovered in the 3rd floor boarding lounge in the main building. Yeah, as shown in the anime opening. Oh, well, about that. We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd have liked, thanks to the police. I'm done for. I'm a goner. Everybody thinks I did it. thought I was gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've got to keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you all ready to go? Apollo! The trial's about to begin! If the defense would please proceed into the courtroom. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is the one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. Alright, 5 to 10. That talk took a whole 40 minutes. A little bit more. He's got the iPad. Wait. We're not seeing him. Apollo's model had the bandage over his eye. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. Yeah. The defense is ready, Your Honor. How did he get that? That was there before the bombing? What's possible? Is he training his eyesight? I don't know, why can you explain this now, please? Excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. What happened to your eye? Oh, thank you, Judge. I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you sure? I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Sore spot, apparently. I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sigh. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well. And the prosecution? Yeah, Blackwell again, okay. I kind of feel like the original Phoenix Wright games changed the prosecutor a little bit more as well. But maybe it's just me reflecting on it as a whole. The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence!
Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. That's the first time they've actually said they're not ready yet. There we go. Oh! There's the box. The prosecution is now ready. He just breaks his shackles and he's ready, okay. Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell? No, now then. I shall give the opening statement.
Silence!
I'll do it. You will? Well, what an unexpected surprise! This time I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. You both seem different somehow. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would. Younger brother? Maybe. And we never knew. And his name, Black Quill, could be made up. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Ah, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right? Oh yeah, I need to copy something that I didn't before to somewhere else. Okay, that would be... Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 AM, before they could even move the rocket to the launch site. Two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. Google JAXA. Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. That's JAXA. Wait. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's got a very similar logo. But what would JAXA be? JAXA is apparently the Ace Attorney one. Yeah, okay. GYAXA comes up with the wiki of it. He can't get a break. No, he can't. I feel like... I don't know, at this point... How... Do you remember how often a prosecutor's changed in the original trilogy? Because it feels like we're getting Blackwell a fair bit. He seems to be like... Clavier's still around. We haven't got a return of Clavier as the prosecutor. And we've seen him in this game. I feel like maybe they just don't have... It's the Dark Ages after all. Yeah, sorry, they gotta get the felon to be the prosecutor. This Piccolo, yeah. He's gonna look after Apollo's babies. He's a friend. Well, he's a friend, but he was the whole time during Apollo Justice as well. That's where it felt kind of odd. He turned up in the last case and then he just isn't a prosecutor either of the cases that we're in. Dual explosive devices was detonated and the launch was cancelled. So this connects to the explosive in the room. That's why we get one of the explosives with phony Fanti. My word, 2 bombs? How dreadful. The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct, your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat 1 rocket 7 years ago. 7 years again. Seven years ago since the end of Apollo Justice, wasn't it? Oh, 7 years. I'm having a brain fart. Made his return to the legal world a few months ago. It was his first case when he was taking the bombing one and case 1. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? Damn, they even turned the incident into a movie and everything. Oh boy, they blurred out whatever this is on purpose because they couldn't come up with a good slogan. But they have everything else. Mankind's hope for the future. I've got to make it back alive. The hat, one miracle. Hang on. I can't read the... Come along on a captivating space odyssey that will take your breath away. We've got a real space pioneering court today. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Oh yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Terry, a subject of the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so he was sent not into space, but to the universe to which we mortals cannot see. Clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there's one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you asked so nicely. It's your coffin. No case in this game is clear-cut. Oh, have mercy on me! I guess it's evidence. Especially, like, this is a case in the Ace Attorney world. None of it's clear-cut. And you got Apollo Justice or Athena Sykes or Phoenix Wright on the case. Any Phoenix Wright disciple, you're not going to have a clear-cut case. You should know that by now. Phoenix is famous, even though he's been disbarred and not been practicing for like 7 years. And due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time. Phew, I feel like I just lost 50 years of my life. What's 50 years when you live for an eternity? Immense size indeed. Does he even have 50 years left? In a monologue, Athena, in a monologue. Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright's the name, in justice we trust. Of course he's back. They don't have a different detective. I like Gumshoe better. Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then. Please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would. On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. Okay. Shelter. First floor has some logo on it. Maybe that's what the lift was. Lounge, launch pad, one corridor. Okay, so you went across. You see the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is the square building, and the rounded structure is the main building. The launch pad is the square building, and the rounded structure is the main building. Right. You got it. The incidents took place in launch pad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. Alright. Details of the case. And just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. to spend this night together in my room. One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building and one in Launchpad 1. Oh, okay, so here and there. It's like they were intentionally forcing them to go up or across. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yep, thinking he'd sabotaged the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Why was he wearing the hat or cap thing under the helmet? Never mind. And what's that? Okay. Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor, it's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. Also, he's got one hand free of a glove, and then that's different to the anime cutscene part. We couldn't get any prints off it though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. Why did you have to remove the glove to identify him? Surely the helmet would have been enough. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. I guess that is redundancy, apart from the face. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to the case. Wait. They were going to take asteroid samples up into space instead of keeping them here? That doesn't seem to make sense. I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located? It's nice to just go back to sort of my normal voice. I try and go slightly higher for Apollo than Phoenix, but when it's just Apollo, they're like, come on. That one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the launchpad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report to into the record. Okay. The trial's just started and we're already in a bind. It's just... You don't need to comment on that, Athena. We're gathering the evidence anyway as we go. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key. They were checking their equipment. Okay.
Hold it!
How powerful were the explosions and how far apart were they? That's what I want to know. Did they go about the same time, or was there a significant delay between them? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? Ha 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 ha! I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. I go to the other side of the world, or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is, but I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What did he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators in the third floor lounge, so this one went off first, by a significant amount, I guess. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down into the Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter? Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. Yep. The Space Center's pretty impressive to have its own shelter. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were two explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives? Huh? What are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb in his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fool bright the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. What are they? These are anti-anxiety tablets. These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently, he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has that it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That it was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name, now could he? Not after the media, no, not after the media branded him Sol Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. I do like the way he talks. I do like the way Blackwell talks, so it's quite different and unique. What? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally. He constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation. Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. That was a long press. Alright, back to pressing. Are you sure it was only the two of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket.
Silence!
The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, you wanna take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. So, when are we introing the bad guy? I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through the door yesterday? Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Okay. So, the question is, who's this Yuri bloke? Or woman? And then that doesn't mean it's possible that... Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28. Okay, he. Doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. But, okay. Oh, I can't look at the diagram. So, someone maybe planted the explosive on the ship earlier. That draws the astronauts out from the ship. And then to where they can be stabbed somewhere where there is not the fingerprint sensor, somewhere past the fingerprint sensor in the lounge. So that they don't try to evacuate, they already set off an explosive on the 2nd floor, which I haven't really said about the timing yet, which seems important, because it seems like the 2nd floor one went off first. Wait, yeah, by pressing we got some more evidence. So this one. Okay, got the information. Backup power allows it to function even when power goes out. And an independent security company manages it. Okay. So, make it back. So, while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. It's the only chance Mr. Terran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket. They were both alive and well at boarding time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
Hold it!
And he was the first to find the victim. Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. Oh, this is where Candace Arm comes into it, okay. One of them was a detective. Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. 2 witnesses. One of them is a detective. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. I think the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little could I could get out of him only hurt my case. But he's making a lot of assumptions. Justice Donald. Foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. A writable CD-ROM? Well, what is this? Footage from a security camera. As the two astronauts emerge from the bowels of the launch pad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Oh, that's interesting. They have a number on the oxygen tank, I would imagine that is. And it is gases. It would be a mix, because 100% oxygen isn't normal to breathe. Usually it would be a mix, I think. What's the door just open? Now I will direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. He could have been bleeding out, theoretically. If the victim was also stumbling along, he could have been bleeding out as they escaped. What? Order, I say. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Apollo? Okay, look in the court record of this. Okay, it's a picture. So I'm wondering, what does the other side of this look like? Does it just open when they get close? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at this point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at this footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a daughter. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Donald. See, I feel like he would need to pick him up differently if he was taking the body. You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge, after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. And, as he's saying, it seems like it was already evacuated. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence.
Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well,
Hold it!
Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous, so you may have a small measure of time. Yes! You have 5 seconds. Got him. For 5 seconds? After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your boldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh, oh! Ready? We don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds. Ah! Well, look! I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning? Meaning there's something missing. Like they conveniently left it unexplained. Okay, the time's over. Something they didn't explain. Something they didn't explain. Ah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Miss Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. Is there something the prosecution has? There's something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way. What is it the prosecution has failed to explain? Why the body was moved? Yeah, good question. I have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave the body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because I have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes the defendant didn't kill the victim, he was helping him. Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Space Boy moved the victim. Huh? They've got to be joking. They've got to be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to deflect suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. Well, that's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. Yeah, so there's no way he could be carrying him one-handed like that. 200 pounds is 90.7185 kilos. 90.7 kilos. Yeah. That's way too much for one hand carrying all the weight. Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story, fit for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Objection!
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence!
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. Aha, here we get phony Fanty. We use that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. What? One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Yeah. Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arm stumbled across the murder. There's the switch. Okay. So he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is. No, Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. Ah! Justice Dunner, open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there's been some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it, and you believe in your client, come what may. And why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Black was controlling the entire game. Yeah, he tries to do that each time. You should be used to it by now. Yeah, it seemed like he was waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now, let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself, famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. Why did he even ask that? Come on. So in this court system, any witness is obligated to testify and they cannot refuse. Okay. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence!
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Look, it could have taken the suit off way earlier, before the court trial started. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that was super negative. Is it going to be alright up there? Hey, he'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. I see in the background, look on, hang on, I'm just gonna find a link. Oh. It's a fun time. Hopefully you can see properly. Lock on, seeing you in the background there. And listen, I didn't know if you'd be able to make it tonight. I didn't kill him. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder to get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? Ha ha. Ha ha ha. But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge cares doubts that. Cares about that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? Old Bag. Do we not remember Old Bag dressed up in a spacesuit? Come on. I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. I really don't care what happens anymore. Ha ha ha. Oh no. Oh no. He's completely given up. What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago? Oh, that was Blackwell. There we go. Huh? That was Blackwell sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Alright.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is that the victim was still alive at the time? Of course, it was alive and well.
Silence.
If so, then you admit you took a man who was alive and well and silenced him permanently with this? What? No! Ah! Black hole confirmed. Dead ahead. Really? I said making him an astronaut. Ah! It's no good, Captain. I'm getting sucked in! And Mr. Starbuck, you are not in space. Please give your testimony seriously. It was just nerves. Maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. Those are completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
Hold it!
Is that the elevator inside the launch pad area? Well, that's right. We always use it to get to and from the cockpit. If there was an explosion, why would you use the lift? That makes sense. I was just using the route you always use. In spite of the fact that there had just been an explosion? Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big.
Hold it!
Passed out. Why was he passed out? Probably because of the explosion. The noise and vibration were incredible. It's a little wonder a person would pass out, right? I guess. Not that I'd know. I've been hit by space debris. The main engine's on fire. It's gonna blow. Yes, I see. I guess it doesn't make sense that someone would pass out. Especially if the person in question is Mr. Starbuck. Anyway.
Hold it!
Don't worry, I understand. I'll make sure everything turns out alright. And everyone's glaring at me like I did it. Apollo, you have to reassure him better than that. And how am I supposed to do that? Try to imagine how he's feeling and use that to figure out how to boost his confidence. Mr. Starbuck, think back to what Clay used to always say. It's times like these when he would repeat, "I'm fine" to himself. I'm fine? Yeah, I guess he did say that a lot. But even if I shouted, Clay would still be dead. What's the use? Can someone please reassure me now? Apollo, there's something strange about Mr. Starbuck's testimony. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's a glaring contradiction. Just wonder what it means for our case. Well, it doesn't look like he's lying, at least. Guess I'll have to show some evidence. Yeah. Back to the start now. Okay, I'll just save. This seems weird. The diagram?
Objection!
That's not right. This is still quicker than going through all the dialogue. Once I get a start, I'll be okay.
Objection!
I'm not sure here at the moment.
Objection!
I don't get it. Tired brain is starting to catch me again. Dang it. The evacuation order.
Objection! Objection!
Oh no. Took the elevator down. He questioned that bombing report. There we go. Yeah, my brain was slow, but I got it. It's just needing to say that you did it after the bomb went off. Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Well, was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right, which means... Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable, in other words. Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. Hey, put the helmet on. Well, what's with the helmet? Ah, Mission Command, do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. Ah, my helmet. Oh, my oxygen tank! Really? Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. Go! Really? Dude? But Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mm-hmm. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you use a middle-level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route. I think. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time, maybe. No, I mean probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you accuracy is paramount in court. Escape route. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now, I took a different route. Maybe, probably, with the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? Well, that's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. Using that ladder to get to the middle... I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capture you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Terran here? Was the capsule that important that you risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material, but they were going to take off in the rocket. So why were they taking asteroid samples up with them? With a spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is writing on your testimony. Ha ha ha. That's an annoying thing. On a side note, looking at the stuff like it came up on Discord, looking at the stuff with tails and that, does it say infinities anywhere? This is the part of the problem with looking at... No, this is a part of the problem with the Legends label, right? You'll look at this and nowhere on Wikipedia does it say that it's infinities, but it is, because it's got the infinities label in the table of contents to show that each story is infinities. And it's blooming annoying because people just reading it will go, oh, that's just as canonical as other stuff in the expanded universe. When especially some of them are just wacky out there stuff that definitely is not. Anyway. Maybe I'm guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Alright.
Hold it!
How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everyone makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. My question is, how can he climb a ladder like that? Oh, go down a ladder. From Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighboring star. So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish I considered just a little more significant than 0. Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony. Maybe. Probably. Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission Control, come in, please. An error has occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh no! Tin can telephones are ineffective in the vacuum of space!
Silence!
Stop this nonsense or I will sever you and your tin can telephone. Alright, I'm begging you, tell the truth. I just don't sever anything. Apollo, is he gonna be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see. So about when we were running away.
Hold it!
In the upper level of the launch area. So that's right, that's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So to recap, you had clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand. Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burnt up. So even though clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him over one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet. You know what you have to do with that statement, Justice General? Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. It's time to present some evidence. Sorry, Mr. Starbuck escaped with clay in the capsule, which means... It's just like in the footage. I can see why he couldn't run, though. He must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yeah, and he had to support clay, it was another 200 pounds. Plus he had to ensure the safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I would have been able to manage. Alright, the last statement. Door saved just in case. I think we present the image.
Objection!
No? Ichikyoda? Like, yes, this game is definitely references. Oh, it's Space Brothers. I'm having a look. This... Look at the hairline! Mutter number, or Mutter number, and his younger brother Hippo. I believe it's... Okay. One all aiming for the moon while other aiming for the Mars. They become a full-fledged JAXA astronaut assigned to go on missions towards the moon. Ha. Let's go. Yeah, I hadn't heard of this one before. And an anime. A 99 episode anime? (2012). Japan oriented stuff. Hey, that's neat. Maybe I'll have to check out Space Brothers one time. Brother. Liquid. I only got awards. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I need to figure out the evidence here.
Objection!
That was the wrong one. I pressed it by accident. I'm thinking the diagram that shows the ladder being this one.
Objection!
Yeah. It's just whichever way you would be able to prove he wouldn't be able to climb down the ladder with his hands full. Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Oh, let's see. The earth is blue. That is actually not true. The earth is... Well, the earth does contain blue, but by being so vague, you've made the statement incorrect. Because the earth is also greens. And the other colours of the land, and then also whites because of the clouds and all that. No, that's not right. So, I guess the earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. No, it's partially correct. Because the earth does contain blue. By saying the earth isn't blue, you're also incorrect. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. Yeah, the oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route.
Take that!
The ladder. To get down from the upper to the middle level where Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder, isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Oh, of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Or 90 kilos. Oh, well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other, is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth, now. Engineer, where's that engineer? Oxygen leaked, oh, whoa. What the? He's flying the coop. Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. Evacuate immediately. He just straight up went. He flew the coop. What the heck? Help, I'm caught on the ceiling. Help, anyone? How did that work? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. Cherry picker's a crane, isn't it? Yeah, it's one of those with the platform at the end of it. Yeah, I thought I was remembering right. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday, for real. Man. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Just take the suit off him. Then he won't have anything to try and fly away with or whatever. As for picking cherries, yeah, it's in the name. You can't do anything else with it. They just did an illegal action by using it to help get him down. Yes, I apologize for losing control. Exactly. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Oh, not that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness. Yikes, yes. I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Ah, Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't talk about that. Well, what are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? It's the anti-anxiety meds. It's making him crazy. Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. You see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it. How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember, because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? He suddenly got confident. Order in the court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this only explains why the testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anyone to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it? Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does. So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints. Justice done. Yeah, you just chuck him off the edge. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand. So, I feel like they would have checked the body for blunt force trauma. I think the spacesuit wouldn't pad it that much, because the drop would be considerable.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. Yeah, exactly. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks. Ah! Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. I mean, you can't be implying a rupture when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
There was also an explosion, you know. Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
Silence! A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer. Oh, we need to test that theory then.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be possible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit structure and found its way to its target. Well, what are the chances, You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suit works. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Space Boy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Yeah. Here, the report regarding the astronaut's oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx. Okay. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Okay. Let's see, the display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. So means the glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. Right. 80%. But in the picture, it's 50%. Jaylan. I'm going to prison instead of to space. Oh, you measured the amount of milligrams? I don't know. I'm a corpse at the moment. I had like 2 teaspoons of coffee when I started, so I needed that today anyway. Space Boy. It's possible. I don't know. It's actually a legitimate question, hey. It's oh, you might be memeing. I don't know. But it's a legitimate question, right? Not being able to do things without some caffeine. I have had some time when I've been alright when I don't have coffee. When I'm getting up and doing stuff and I'm active and I've gotten enough sleep and stuff. But I never feel that bright in the morning. I always need something to wake me up, and then it's always like later in the day when I wake up more. But I don't know if it's something to do with chemical balances in the brain. It'd probably be something to ask a medical professional, I guess. But then at the same time, yeah, that's the thing. Like last night, I was up too late because I was out, we were doing a sausage sizzle, helping out for the women at Sisterhood Night at church. And that was really good. But then also I was like, oh, I'm energized afterwards, I keep going, and that's why I was up too late, and then I'm like, well, I have to get up because I'm doing the RPG and stuff earlier. And all of that, yeah. I think that's exactly it. There needs to be stimulation and stuff that isn't just sitting and doing stuff. It's also very easy not to be motivated to go out and do stuff. Which is the other problem. But I know I have less sleep, so that's a problem for today. Talking on the phone is good, yeah. Exercise is good. It doesn't really beat in real life interactions properly. Yeah. You have to have physical movement, and then still there's a part that the social interaction in person is still a lot better than online. As you're doing to yourself, well, it's gonna be common things because we're humans and we would have the same sort of general needs, right? Like, I need to exercise more, I know that, but I just don't have the self-motivation to do it as consistently as I should. At least you've been doing it once a week, hey? Like, yeah, no, I was at my worst mentally when I didn't have anyone to even meet once a week. It's better now, but then even then I still have, like, I see people once or twice a week, 2 or 3 times a week, but on the week if connect groups aren't there, I see people for actual socialisation at church, and that's it. Which is a problem. I should also go walk, yeah, I can walk to shops easy from here. I should make that a habit. But when I had a habit of that, then it was raining, and then I got out of the habit because it was raining, and I didn't walk to the shops. The problem is if I just sit in a cafe, I don't end up talking to people as much. It's probably a good change of pace if I'm not going to work on something. I think that's something that I need to make a habit of, to actually go, I'm going to write a short story, I need to take some stuff and sit in a cafe and use that as my spot to think about it, because it's different from here. And volunteering, I don't know where I want to volunteer. Like, I volunteer at church on Sundays. Last night was a volunteer thing with a sausage sizzle. Yes, it's still last night. I've got 5 minutes to go. And that was good. But it's still a thing. And I made volunteering every fortnight for church, because otherwise I'd be doing it every week and then not actually sitting in the service and getting, like, listening to the message properly and stuff. Anyway, Space Boy. I was thinking I'm going to finish this bit soon anyway, because it's nearing 4 hours, and then look at the Nintendo Direct. Because it's good. I'm going to be interacting with people, like, online and stuff, but that's still sitting, and I need to do more physical activity. Yes. Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prison? That's right, your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. Ha ha ha! That's not a half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck, Prosecutor Blackwell got to him good. Spaceship prison cell, fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together!
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh, yes, Apollo? You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you are an incredible man. Yeah, this would be the Space Brothers thing, right? Because in the synopsis we were looking at, there was one that became an astronaut, and then the one that didn't end up being an astronaut but then got recruited later, and the story's about helping the new recruit along and the guy that became an astronaut. Same sort of dynamic in the end. Except he did. He said you never give up on your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence, for the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you. Clay Terran. For Clay? You're wasting your breath. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. The rain has gone. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. There's no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling to me, Solomon Sol Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! What the heck is this? I half expected him to fly away then. Whoa. I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. He really should learn by now. Every single time he's been in court with these people, he's lost. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your boldness? Yeah, I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to get back into space. Hey, a picture, nice. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If the only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now, let's see. About this data we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now. It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terrence had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dunn. This seems kind of weird as well, when Blackwell's been providing all of the evidence and we're giving a contradiction between evidence that both thinks he's provided. He should have cross-referenced and checked all that. It's simple, the evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction to. Yeah.
Take that!
And how does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is in this part here, the 50.
Take that!
Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increase? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence.
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence.
In that case, you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen. You better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to the point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Oh, of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Yeah, okay, he's gonna do this thing. I'm gonna save here and leave this for time for tonight. Because I do want to get to some other stuff while my brain is still sort of working.